Hi, boys. I have a question for the men. What the fuck do you want?
Most men die as strangers to the boy they once were. As a child, the dreams were big, clear, alive. He held them like something the world could never take. The future still felt personal. Possibility still carried his name. He could see a life that belonged to him. Not a life assigned, not a life inherited. A life he intended to force into existence. Then the years came. Not with a crash, with weight. Duty arrived first, then pressure, then responsibilities that would not release him. Family that needed him. Money that owned his hours. Relationships and circumstances that closed every clean exit one by one. He stayed, he carried, he refused to drop the load. But something else was set down instead. We are NamelessParadox, the first fire. Every man begins with big dreams, a direction that felt like blood. He could see it, name it, believe it without apology or explanation. In that early season, death itself could lean close and ask, "You got big dreams, kid?" And the answer would rise without calculation, without fear of looking foolish. "I sure do." That fire was not childish. It was not naive. It was the first true signal. The original reading of what a man was aimed at before the world began its long, quiet work of redirection. Most men remember the surface of those dreams, the toys, the posters on the wall, the fantasies that made adults smile with mild condescension. They forget the seriousness underneath, the quiet certainty that life was supposed to be pointed at something, that a man was not meant to drift, that first fire is not the final shape of success. It may change form, it may mature, it may be refined by reality, but it remains the first honest data a man ever receives about himself. Ignore that data long enough, and a man can spend a lifetime building a life that functions perfectly while belonging to someone else. The long middle. The years do not kill the dream in one blow. They grind it. The man keeps working, keeps providing, keeps standing where he is needed. When the question comes, he still answers, bigger than ever. And for a time, he means it. He is still building, still pushing, still telling himself the delay is temporary, that the real life is still ahead, that the current season is only preparation. But the voice grows quieter. The fire begins to share space with rent, with exhaustion, with the endless weight that never fully sets down, with the knowledge that people depend on him and that walking away is not a clean option. Later, the answer changes shape. It becomes only, yes, hanging in there. He is still standing, still competent, still refusing to abandon the people who depend on him. Yet the original fire is no longer the same size. It has been negotiated with, managed, postponed, spoken of less often until it is barely spoken of at all. In this modern age, many men live exactly here. Strong enough to provide, reliable enough that no one questions them, capable enough to survive the demands of the day, yet slowly emptied of the direction that once made the struggle feel like their own. They are not failures by the world's measure. They pay the bills, they show up, they do not collapse, they are functional, they are necessary. And still something essential is going quiet inside them. This is the long middle, the years where a man can lose himself without ever making one dramatic decision to do so. No single betrayal of the self. Only 1,000 small surrenders that feel at the time like maturity. The quiet surrender. There comes a day when the question returns, often without warning, often in the quiet. How about now, kid? Got dreams? And the honest answer is the one most men never speak, even to themselves. No. No dreams left. Not because he was weak, not because every choice was wrong, because the load was real and he would not drop it, because abandoning the people who needed him was never an option. So he abandoned the boy instead. He sits with a life that functioned, a life that looked solid from the outside, A life that met every external demand placed upon it. And the truth settles in his chest like cold iron. This entire thing has been a dream he stopped living. Modern masculinity often praises the man who carries without complaint. It respects the provider. It respects the one who does not break. It respects endurance. It rarely asks what becomes of the man when the carrying is the only thing left of him. The quiet surrender is not loud. It does not arrive with collapse or scandal or public failure. It is the slow acceptance that the original desire no longer has a seat at the table. It is the decision, made in pieces across decades, that the boy's question is no longer practical, that the fire was a luxury. That responsibility is the only remaining identity. Many men reach their later years having fulfilled nearly every demand placed upon them, yet unable to answer the simplest question of all. They became reliable. They became necessary. They became the man who never walked away. And still the unfinished part of them kept dying in the background. The final question is, when the end draws near, the question is no longer theoretical. It is the only one that still cuts. What did you really want? Not what you were forced to become, not what responsibility required, not what looked mature or respectable or safe. What did the boy still want even while the man carried everything he could not put down? Most men arrive at this moment empty. They surrendered the dream so completely, so gradually that nothing remains to reclaim. The signal is gone. Only the weight remains. This is the true cost, not the hard years, not the sacrifices that were genuinely required, not the nights of exhaustion or the quiet compromises. The cost is the man who can no longer remember what he was aimed at before endurance became his only identity. He looks back and sees a long road of duty. He cannot clearly see the path he once intended to walk. That is the deeper regret. Not that the load was heavy, but that he let the load become the whole of him. The warrior's refusal. Giving up is not an option. Not on the load you must carry. Not on the part of you that still remembers the first fire. We are warriors. Not the kind who abandon the field when it grows heavy. Not the kind who drop every duty and name it freedom. Not the kind who romanticize walking away from what must be carried. We are the kind who hold the line and still refuse to let the original desire die in silence. A smaller number of men will look at the responsibilities they cannot leave and still demand an answer. What do I still want? Even now? Even here? Even under this weight? They do not pretend the burden is imaginary. They do not claim that duty is optional. They simply refuse the second surrender, the one that kills the internal direction so the external load can be borne more quietly. They build in the margins. They protect their health, their mind, and their frame. The last territory still under their command. They treat strength, competence, and clarity not as performance for the world, but as the minimum required to keep a self intact inside a demanding life. They measure the life by one standard only: how much of the original fire was still kept alive before the end. This is not nostalgia for childhood. It is not the demand that life become easy or unconstrained. It is the refusal to let necessity become the only remaining name for a man. True modern masculinity is not the absence of burden. It is the capacity to carry the burden without disappearing inside it. Final truth. Do not let the first fire go completely cold. Ask the question while there is still time. Move toward it in whatever space the responsibilities leave open. Stay hard. Build real strength. Protect your health and your frame. These are the only weapons that create room inside a life you cannot simply leave. True masculinity is not the absence of burden. It is the refusal to let the burden erase the man. It is the capacity to carry what must be carried without using that carrying as permanent permission to abandon yourself. We are warriors. We do not abandon the load. We do not abandon ourselves. When the final moment comes, may you still be able to look back at the boy and say you never fully let him go. May the answer still exist, even if it grew smaller than it once was, even if it had to live in the margins, even if the world never once applauded it. Stay awake, stay deliberate, refuse a life that ends only in silence and regret. The wait is real, the question is still yours. Do not wait until the end to discover that you no longer know the answer. We are NamelessParadox. I'll see you in the next one.